Hi, it's Pastor Paul L. Anderson here at the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, where we believe God's blessings never stop flowing. It is Satisfaction Saturday. Oh, the satisfaction of knowing that God has protected us in the midst of all that's happened in the world, and He's kept us with our faith and our trust in Him, and we're ready to begin another day. I hope you're ready to begin another day. Begin your day with me by looking at Luke's Gospel, the 9th chapter, verses 43 through 48 from the New Living Translation. A very powerful word. It's a word that Jesus predicts his death, and he talks about who is the greatest in the kingdom. Our text on today finds Jesus with his disciples, and as he's with them, he begins to have a conversation with them. He begins to tell them about his death. It is very true that the Bible tells us, unless a kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it shall not produce much fruit. But in our text today, we begin to see that Jesus is letting his disciples know, listen to me and remember what I'm saying to you, that I am going to find myself being betrayed by the hands of our enemies. Little did they know that they find themselves in the midst of what is about to be a changing moment in all of their lives. They now begin to see that Jesus is warning them that I've been with you, but I'm about to leave you. It's amazing in all of our lives that when Jesus' presence is made known and when we know how significant he is, we feel like we can conquer the world. But now he's reminding them that he's about to leave. It has been hidden to them up until this moment, because he knew they wouldn't understand it. And now when he shares it with them, they are afraid to ask him more questions. So Jesus tells his disciples, as they begin to argue about who is the greatest, he lets them know, as you are arguing, as you are debating, this is one thing I need to let you know. Jesus pulls them to the side and he says to them, anyone who welcomes me as a little child, and anyone who receives a child on my behalf welcomes me. And whoever welcomes me welcomes the Father who sent me. And whoever is the least among you shall be the greatest. Jesus lets them know it is through that little small faith, the kind of faith that a child has, the obedient life of a child, the way in which a child always follows the one who is leading and guiding them, that makes them great. The disciples were wondering about themselves, who would be the greatest in his kingdom, who would sit at his right, who would sit at his left. And Jesus has just told them he's about to die. We must begin to ask ourselves the question, are we having conversations about things that really don't pertain to us, things that never really have mattered and will not matter? But Jesus talks about the greatest things that matters is our willful obedience, our ability to be like a child. That means to ultimately trust Christ and all that he has in store for us, and realize, even in the midst of troubling situations, that God still has it under control. My brothers and my sisters, as you and I find ourselves on this Saturday, let's know that in the midst of all of life's challenging situations, Jesus wants us to just listen to him and to willfully and humbly follow him, because he will lead us into those green pastures. My brothers and sisters, always know that you're exceedingly and abundantly blessed. And in this year of 2022, God has some great blessings in store for you. And I look forward to seeing you in worship on tomorrow.
To sow a seed to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, visit our newly redesigned website, thefountainofraleigh.org, and select Sow a Seed from the homepage. Also, giving has been made easier with the new Fountain of Raleigh app, available now in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Download today, select Giving from the main menu, and then follow the directions to complete your giving through Subsplash.
Thank you so very much for all of your gifts and donations that you've given to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship. We thank you for what you've done in the past, what you're currently doing, and what you will do in the future. Your gifts and donations helps us to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, not only locally, but throughout the world. Thank you again for your gifts, and may God continue to richly bless you. It is here at the Fountain that we believe that we are exceedingly and abundantly blessed, and may you receive those blessings that God has in store for you.